And so you replace the things that don't make you much money with VAs or other companies or assistants who can do those things for you so that you can make more money.
Because a lot of people, they'll get VAs and then not know what to do with them or how to delegate or how to even communicate. And you have built a pretty good system with your guy.
Yeah, just a nugget on that. I saw a really powerful sponsored post that the hook was, you're not ready for an assistant. You're not ready to hire an assistant. And it just punched you in the gut, right? And you're like, hold the phone. Like, most everybody else is telling me go out and hire somebody. And you're saying the exact opposite. You're saying I shouldn't. Let me see what this is talking about. And basically the crux of the argument was, you don't have systems. And so you're bringing somebody into a warehouse, this gigantic business, and there's no machines. There's nothing for them to do. Before you hire an assistant, you got to have shit for them to do. Before you have a VA, you got to have tasks that you got to pass along to somebody. So a lot of times to get started with an assistant, and there's a lot of books about hiring correctly. The first step in most all of them is write down what you're doing on a day-to-day. Create 2 columns. Things I love to do, things I hate to do. Do another page. Things that make me money, things that don't make me money. Things that only I could do, things that anybody could do. And as you break down these columns and you're writing your tasks throughout the day, you start to realize, I don't need to be doing that. I don't need to be doing that. I don't need to be doing that. I got to do this. I got to do that. And I got to do this one. And you can separate the 2 into 2 buckets: VA, assistant, me, myself, and I. And you separate the 2, and then you can hire the people. We talk the 4 P's of doing the business, right? You got to have a product. You got to promote it. You got to produce it. Then you get the people, right? It's interesting that the people is last, right? Most people want to, hey, I got this great idea. I got to hire all these people to execute it. Well, you got an idea, but you're not producing it. You're not promoting it. Yeah, you got the product, but you're not producing or promoting. So like, you're not there yet. There's no reason for you to have people yet. You're going to hire people and they're going to sit in this empty warehouse and look around being like, what, this is boring. What am I supposed to be doing? But thanks for my paycheck. I'll take it.
Sheesh. Sheesh.
Right?
Sheesh. So now what's your communication like with your VA? Like, do you have weekly meetings, daily meetings?
So communication is all through virtual platforms. Asana is the biggest one we're using right now. And basically what it is it's a program that has, because we started off and I gave him kind of like, here's what I want you to do every day from a marketing perspective. He has tasks that he's already running with on a day-to-day basis that I don't have to touch base with him. But I also am able to go onto Asana and assign immediate task ASAP, tasks that need to be done by the end of the day, projects that need to be done by the end of the week, ongoing projects and set a finish date from, or ongoing projects that don't have a finish date because they're just ever constantly growing, like adding people to a CRM, or scrubbing the database or scrubbing social media. Like, those are ongoing projects. But that allows me to go in there without needing to have a conversation or wait for him to pick up the phone, boom, boom, boom. And then I can see by him checking off, done. I can see, and that, I don't have to pick up a phone to say, did you do it or anything like that. I can see it on the program whether he's, 1, has he seen it? 2, has he done it? 3, is he working on it? 4, what, any notes that he puts or anything like that.
So basically all of your social media, all of your CRM, all of your follow-up via those channels, right?
Like, yeah. And so like those are a lot of the things that, he's doing that generally. And then like periodically, right, I'll get a deal and I'll say, by the end of the day, put together a roadmap for me. And he'll do that. Like, I don't do that part anymore. Right? Okay, we have this deal now. Now, by the end of the week, I want you to create posts surrounding under contract. Right? I have an upcoming listing. By the end of this week, I want you to put together a bunch of posts about this neighborhood. At the end, we're going to post about the listing. Right? So like the weekly task or a daily task. Hey, we just came to an agreement on the inspections. Put together a CTA that states X, Y, and Z, send it to the seller. Got to be done by the end of the day. right? So like like I'm going in there as things come up to put in new tasks, but generally he has big projects and he has daily tasks that he does.
Now, do you ever delegate any like? Do you ever have him like look at comps and look at numbers, or like go in the MLS for anything?
Yep, he does. He does all of my agreement of sale write ups. He sends me a Google form. I tell him, hey, I have an agreement of sale. Send me the Google form. I fill it out with all like the key data points. He then puts it into the zip forms. He then sends it to my client. Listing contract. He sends me a Google form. I fill it out. He goes on the system. I review it. He'll send me a video of it so I can say, hey, it looks good. I saw it on the video. I don't have to log into anything. Um, and then with that, so MLS, he has to do seller net sheets. He has to do buyer net sheets. For my open houses, he'll do the search of similar properties that I can bring the actual property. He'll email it all to me in a PDF. So I just have to print that email. So he is going on there. He's not really running comps for me because there's an art to that. He might send me like a list and I'll go through the list so I don't have to do the initial search. But generally, like, he's just doing the agreement of sale, the listing stuff, the CTAs, things like that. And I'm telling him what to put in it. He's just actually doing the typing. People that were around are, I tell you this all the time and you believe it. We are the average of the 5 people we associate the most with. And that's from, a bunch of different buckets: spiritual, financial, health, wealth, whatever. All these different, if I want to associate with these 5 athletes, I'll become a better athlete. If I want to associate with these 5 financial gurus, I'll become a better financial person myself. Spiritual, like all these different, right? So on top of that, you have grown. So now I've taken it a step further, right? You're the average of the 5 people you associate with the most. Ultimately, those 5 people have taken you as far as they can take you. So you need to expand. You need to get a new 5. You need to get to the next level. And the only way you're going to get there is with people you don't really know yet. The power of strangers. And it's for better or worse, right? With great power comes great responsibility, like for better or worse.
That's a fact.
But it's interesting. I teach my kids purposefully, you want something, go talk to that grown up. Be bold about it. Like my parents used to teach me stranger danger. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm going to watch, I'm going to be there. I'm going to make sure nothing bad happens. But like, strangers have everything you want, my friend. They have everything we want. We just have to be willing to put ourselves out there, willing to show that we're valuable and that we can both benefit from it. And all of a sudden we can get to that next 5.
You know what I think it is though? I think a lot of times, like even for me, man, like it hasn't been easy to be vulnerable and to be willing to let people in. And I think a lot of times a lot of people have guards up and they have preconceived notions and understandings of things that aren't real. Like for instance, the power of the 5, me surrounding myself now around people that look at finances different, have more money than the normal people that I would be around. And not that that's important, but it is important because where I'm going, I want to surround myself around those type of people. So just I notice myself, like I'm looking at some of my different accounts and stuff, and I'm like, my problems have changed from like wasting money and where did my money go to now it's like my wife gonna get mad because she sees me buying too many stocks, too much crypto, because I just believe in like I'd rather have assets. My credit's been shooting like just in all ways of my life right now is just a lot of great things are happening.
People do have those barriers up and like the preconceived notions about what's really happening here. Like, why is this conversation happening? But one thing that I'm really high on right now is the power of strangers. I put out an email to about 5,000 people this week, and the title was Power of Strangers, right? And it talked about, hey, before I got into this, I did what I did. I was miserable at my 9 to 5. I didn't like my job. I didn't like the person I was becoming, but it was a scenario and it was a setting that I was kind of used to because my entire life I had been kind of thinking that's where I want to go and dabbled in it. I was a teacher. And ultimately, I didn't like it at all. And so I got into this industry. I knew nobody in the industry. I knew nothing about it. And my life has completely changed from a mental perspective, from a financial perspective, from a spiritual perspective, from all these different perspectives. None of that would have happened if it weren't for me putting myself out there and meeting strangers. And I have a really fortunate existence that like my mindset is pretty much growth mindset. Like anything that happens, I'm going to find a glass half full of like opinion about. I'm going to figure out a way to grow from it. Not everybody's fortunate enough to have that, but it's super real. So I put this email out to a bunch of people and said, so right now you're a stranger and I'm a stranger, but call me and I guarantee you I'll learn something from you and you'll learn something from me. And for the past 4 days, I've been having these random conversations with these random people talking about everything from crypto to real estate to cars to sports with kids to like it's weird, like everything. And ultimately, like they all start the conversation like, what do you want? Like, why? I'm like, I don't want anything. I want to have a conversation because I don't know if this could change my life. But I know that things that I didn't know before have changed my life. And maybe this is the next one. Like I've had probably 30 conversations in the last 4 days. Maybe one of them is about to change my life. I don't know. You and I didn't know each other, what, 6 months ago?
Nope.
Thick as thieves. Wouldn't change it for the world. You've grown from me. I've grown from you. I mean, it's incredible, man. The things that you've shown me is like obviously drive and motivation and like, you know, that you can change your life like that if you decide to.
Crack up at myself sometimes because I'm like, wow, like I really just created a whole new network. Like just by adding value. And I think that's the most important thing is that people sometimes feel like they're not valuable and they don't know how to play their role. And I've found a way to add value and it's so natural. It's valuable. You know what I mean? Like but I think a lot of times, even in entrepreneurship, you know, especially for new real estate agents that, you know, just willing to get out there and put in the work, you know, it's going to cost you something. And I did a lot of free videos, like even with you, my relationship with you, I came first. I didn't want to drain you and pull from you. I came first, like, can I add value? Can I help you with something? And then in return, look what happened. You know, you know, I'm be willing to add value, man. Got to be willing to add value.
Yeah. And the difference of your expenditures, right? What it used to look like. And it used to be spending on things that weren't really growing you business wise or personally. And now that they are, now your expenditures are being used towards those things. One of the expenditures that you did was time, right? You spent time, valuable time on other people, but growing your business. So you talked about buying crypto and buying these other stocks and what you call it assets. Well, you are your biggest asset. So when you did those things, you invested time in yourself. That was the best thing you could have done, right? You're not worried about or relying on the economy or ups and downs of these stocks or crypto because they're going to ebb and flow. But you're always going to be there. So I would say double down and invest in yourself, invest in the business that you're launching, that you're already in. You know, you got to double down on yourself. Otherwise, nobody else will. I'll tell you that. Nobody else will.
That's a fact. But one thing I learned from you is like not people won't directly do that, but what they will do is they definitely, once you invest in yourself and other people see that you invest in yourself, they will be willing to help 100%.
Yep.
Because man, there's a lot of people with these courses, these mentorships, and people pay top dollar. And I know the information that you have and the things that you've been through, if we were to package it up real nicely, there would be a high dollar value on that. But somehow I finagled to get mentorship from you for absolutely nothing. I get you pay me for mentorship. Nah, I'm just but that's the beautiful thing about creating your own economy and building relationships and being open to strangers, because such beautiful things happen, like this episode of the network. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in with us. You have none other than Jesse Barnes from Real Estate Matters, and Justin from Just Blessed Media. So
Hey, it's
listen,
been a
you
pleasure
guys
as always.
be blessed.